Hi, my name is Nazira Mohammed, and today I will be presenting my presentation explaining my intercultural skills. The field I want to work in the future is the accounting business field. And when it comes to diversity and inclusion within the field, there isn't much diversity when it comes to the workforce. In my research, I have found that 41% of accounting graduates are non white. However, in the accounting workforce, there's only an 18% of non white participants. And when it comes to language barriers within the accounting field, the International Accounting Standards Board interacts with the Financial Accounting Standards Board and GAAP to develop high quality standards. But linguistic distance creates a large language barrier. But due to this effect, the International Accounting Standards Board has increased the geographic representation between the board members and staff while supporting translations of proposed guidance. And I'd say that there is a language barrier between working with clients as an accountant because what confuses most clientele when it comes to accountants is that they don't understand the languages and terms accountants use when using their financial information. And that can often cause a lot of misunderstandings and confusion to happen. This is why having good intercultural communication skills are essential to building a good clientele for your accounting business and field, because a lot of people come in with their different backgrounds and fields, which is why it is so important for you to reserve your judgment as an accountant, remain in an empathetic manner in order for them to trust you with their information, and listen to their needs. To others' backgrounds, their financial norms and beliefs may cause them to be future oriented and want to save additional money. But others may not have the same privilege and may need to spend their money on the things that they need in the present moment. Also, what I had noticed in my research about diversity and inclusion within the accounting field, the main problems inside of that workplace culture are misunderstandings and ethnocentrism. So, because I had noticed this occurring within multiple accounting fields, I was nervous myself as a Black woman because I have a lot of experiences with people generalizing who I am just based on seeing me instead of properly communicating with me and creating a third space where we can properly communicate with each other. I had consulted with my mother about financial accounting advice because I noticed that she had worked a lot of accounting and data analysis jobs within her younger years. And the two main things that she has taught me was that to be confident within my abilities and just to be able to get my education so that I know how to start within my accounting business field and how to properly understand how things work. The three most important concepts I have learned within my intercultural communications class is learning about intercultural sensitivity, ethnocentrism, and multiculturalism. Intercultural sensitivity is being able to look inwards at the way you speak in your everyday language and the tone you use, and even body language, because that can communicate differently to others within a different cultural group. And because of that, it may cause a little bit of tension. And in order to ease the tensions, you should be able to modify your behaviors just to make everyone else feel comfortable and vice versa. And learning about ethnocentrism was really important to me because there's a lot of people who tend to feel superior over others because they want others to adapt to their own cultural groups, whether that's their norms and beliefs or even just the way they communicate with each other. They feel like people should only be learning about their cultures instead of also learning about other people's cultures because they see them as inferior. And finally, multiculturalism is learning about other people's cultures and learning how to adapt to their culture and just listening to other people's experiences and their norms, values, and beliefs and being able to learn something. I would simply define intercultural sensitivity as acknowledging others' differences of perspectives while slightly modifying your relationship with other people to let them know that you understand their norms and beliefs and vice versa. And I would assess my own sensitivity by looking at my own behavior, body language, and everyday language and tone. I handle working with customers and coworkers of different cultures by treating everyone fairly, learning who they are as an individual, and respecting our differences and not being able to generalize people. When I was 18 years old, I worked at a pizza shop, and my main duties were to answer phone calls with customers, handle the cash register, and making pizza. Me and this one guy who were coworkers, we had created a close bond with each other because we had the same beliefs and values, and we had come from the same background, and we also just enjoyed expressing the same humor. But one day, when we had taken our lunch break, I had noticed that he was writing down something with a pen, and he was writing in a particular way. And because we had joked a lot with each other previously, I had thought that this was an okay joke to make towards him, particularly about his handwriting. And he expressed to me that the joke that I made was very offensive and that he had been diagnosed with dyslexia at a very young age, and that the joke I made to him was very uncalled for and very uncomfortable for him. And so, because I had made such a hasty generalization about him, not only to my friend but to my coworker, it made me feel very sad inside, because not only did I notice that I made a generalization about a person that I didn't even know their background about, I had hurt someone's feelings, because and that just made me feel very apologetic, and I apologized to him several times. I had even told him that I didn't even know that he had struggled with that at such a young age, and I just apologized. He forgave me, but he had also, explained to me that when he was younger, and because of the way he wrote differently and the way he understood things differently than other people have made him feel inadequate and had made him feel different. And because I had put him in such an uncomfortable situation, his I had listened to his wants and needs, and we also talked about boundaries and what we should and shouldn't joke about each other, because I went too far, and that lesson taught me to know about simple boundaries and acknowledge my faults and listen to other people's experiences before communicating about things that make others feel very uncomfortable. I think I would make a good fit for this career because I am detailed oriented. I analyze financial reports and information to ensure accuracy. I have a willingness to learn and adapt, and I have a teamwork mindset. I understand that accounting is a field where you learn to be communicative and empathetic to get your point across while making other people feel comfortable to be in your presence, especially when it comes to building clientele. Thank you for listening to my presentation where I explain my intercultural skills. Thank you.